And everybody knows that watches the news that I'm sure like a 30-foot FEMA trailer is really, I mean, because they do so well in those Kentucky tornadoes and everything else.
Having a grand old time in that walkthrough. Did you see that with
Oh,
DeSantis and Don, Big Don, the Big Don were doing their walkthrough? A lot to laugh about, apparently. Maybe they took that out of context. Maybe there was no laughing. Maybe just one. Somebody farted. There was a little laugh, and then they keep sharing that same
no, what they were
image.
doing was they just kept handing a note back and forth saying $450 million. Like, like really? Like a fucking airfield that's been there for 1 billion years. FEMA trailers that they've already paid for and have been sitting in mothballs, and some uh, refuge that looks like a dog center before they euthanize dogs.
Cages.
Yeah, just, I mean,
How long did this take to build? Do you know?
oh, that when they first made like it first made the news, it was what you see right now, except
Yeah,
for
I feel like they broke
ex,
ground at noon, and then I saw
yeah.
images at 6.
No, but I mean, they had the trailers and the runways, of course, and all that shit. They just recently added the uh, the pins,
So the structure, or
but
so
you're
this,
only see people look at things like that and they say, you know, whatever happened to the American empathy, whatever happened to us being the good guys. And I look back at them, I say, it's 2 weeks in and out. They land the plane right there, throw you in a plane, take you to some country you don't have any right going to either, drop you off. I mean, if I was them, I would get a passport so I could get it stamped. Because you know you're going to end up back here, then you get it stamped again. At least you're going to like start knocking a bucket, kind of a bucket list off of just Central American fucking countries you wanted to visit.
the expediency of the process is attractive, right? It should not take, however many years and however many arrests, honestly, to have somebody who needs to be deported. The state, I did a paper in college about it in the 90s, and the state back then of how many INS detainment facilities there were wildly disproportionate to what they needed. Even in New York, which was the numbers I was using, it was like it was nowhere near the amount of holding space they need. So an expedient process is attractive about this, but it can't be at the expense of like any kind of due process, like actually making sure the person's not a citizen, which hasn't happened 100% yet.
Or to, I mean, like I'm trying to figure out like what's so the quarterback comes in and he calls a play, and then he looks over the coach. Coach calls timeout, and so we kind of quarterback goes over and he says, "Dude, what are you doing? I just told you 2 weeks ago that we needed people to pick the strawberries, and we needed people in the housekeeping. We've got to let these, you know." Remember that whole thing I said? I was in the Oval Office. I had that same blue suit that I've had on the whole fucking 6 months. And I said to him, like, some guy that's been doing this for 30 years probably knows who would be a good hire to pick the fruit so it doesn't go bad. But now we're throwing that aside and we're going to grab the guy from the fucking IHOP who's got 3 Marines as sons.
Dean Ambrose.
Who was the last match he had against?
You know, we talk about
Hangman!
we talk about the majors all the time here.